Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce, my name is Yulianti. I will discuss solution overview and types. In this video, we are going to take a look at solution, which are type of mixture used a lot in chemistry. We'll look at some different kind of solution. We'll see how they're made, and we'll look at some general characteristics that all solutions have. So to start off with, what the solution? Well, a solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Homogeneous is an important word here, and it means that the parts are evenly distributed, that there is a uniform, even distribution throughout. Let's take a look at this. Let's say we dissolve a little drink mix in water and we stir around. The parts mix together evenly and we get a homogeneous mixture or a solution. Take a look at this uniform, even distribution. We can look at it here, or we can look at it here, or we can look at it here. In all areas, the sum anywhere else in the solution. Everything is evenly distributed. The part mix evenly. Okay, now to better understand this, let's do a comparison with something that is a solution. So we've got our solution or homogeneous mixture right here, and the part mix evenly is uniform. Over here, we have a heterogeneous mixture where the parts do not mix evenly. We have oil here and water here. You can see the different parts distinctly. This is not uniform and even, and this is not a solution. Now, if you have a heterogeneous mixture like this, you can stir up or you can shake up, and you can temporarily form what called a suspension, which look like this. Everything can all mix up in there together, but that only temporarily. Eventually, everything is going to settle back out, is going to separate back out, and you're going to end up this again. So the parts eventually separate out when you have a heterogeneous mixture, but on the other hand, the parts of a solution essentially never separate. They're just going to stay mixed basically forever. So that's solution versus not solution. Let's start getting into the details of solution. First of the parts. Every solution has two parts. Let's say we're dissolving sugar in water. The substance we're dissolving, we call that the salt here. That's the sugar and the substance, the salt in dissolving in. We call the solvent. So the solvent would be water here. So in other words, the solute dissolved in the solvent. You can see that right here. Now, a solution can have more than one solute, but I can only have one solute, one solvent. So, for instance, we could take some salt, and we could also dissolve that in the solution. Salt would also be a solute along the sugar. We have two solutes. The solvent is still just water, so solute dissolve in the solvent. Now, to add a little bit more, the solvent is usually the substance that's present in the greatest amount, and the solute or solutes are what we have less of. But there are exceptions. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about solutes. So here we have the solutes that we've talked about so far. We got drink mix, we got salt, we got sugar, and we saw just dissolve in a liquid and water to make a solution. Now, these are all solid, but solute don't have to be solid. We can also make a solution by dissolving a liquid in another liquid, and we can make solution by dissolving gas in liquid. So now let's look at examples. So some of these other solution. Here an example where we make a solution by mixing two liquid. Rubbing alcohol in your medicine cabinet is a solution of isopropyl alcohol mixed with water. These are two different liquids. You can stir them together and they spread out to each other, dissolving evenly and uniformly. The liquid then separate out over time, so the rubbing alcohol that we end up with this is a solution. Now, if you are looking at the table here, you might have wondered why we said the water is the solvent and alcohol is a solution and alcohol is a solute, because it looks like we can have the same amount of both. Well, just so you know, we sometimes say the water in the solvent even when we don't have more of it, even when it's not present in the great amount. You don't have to worry about this too much. Just you can keep an eye out for it. Anyway, here another good example of a solution that we make by mixing liquids. This is antifreeze, which is used in cars to help cool the engine. Antifreeze is made by propylene glycol, which is thin, clear viscous liquid, and mixing with water. Now, sometimes they're a little fluorescent than there as well. That's another solute, but as you expect, the liquid solution that we get is homogeneous. It looks uniform in composition and does separate out or settle out over time. Now, you can also make solution by dissolving a gas in a liquid. If you dissolve carbon dioxide gas in water, you make seltzer. Here, the gas in the solute and the liquid is the solvent. And if you take that seltzer and you add some flavoring and sugars, those are solutes, but they are not gases. You get soda or pop in this bottle. As you can see, the mixture are nice and uniform. Another example of a gaseous dissolving liquid is ammonia clean solution. This is a solution of ammonia gas solute that dissolves in water. Now, if you think about all the solutions that we've looked at so far, you might notice that they are in the liquid state. They're all liquid, and we call this liquid solution. If you solve in the liquid, your final solution will be in the liquid state, no matter what the solute is. So, the solute can be solid, it can be gas, it can be liquid. If the solve in liquid, the final solution will also be liquid. And going a step further here, so that all of our solution had water as a solve, and that not really usually, because water is the most common solvent in chemistry. Yeah, sometimes you see other but water is by far the most common. We have a special name for this solution. Aqueous solutions are solutions where water in a solvent. You might know that aqua means water, and that's where the name aqueous comes from. Aqueous solutions are super common. Most beverages are aqueous solution, and most the solutions that we use in the chemistry lab are aqueous solution as well. So they're really everywhere. But not all solutions are in the liquid state. They they are not liquid solution. These are usually what we think of when we think of solution and dissolving, but they are very important. So to finish up this video, we'll talk about solution of gases and solution of solid, which are often metals. So we'll start with solution of gases. Whenever we mix gases, they usually blend together evenly, and so we usually form a solution or homogeneous mixture. The most common solution of gases in the one that you're bringing right now. Air is a solution or homogeneous mixture and is mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, and a batch of other gases. Now, how can we tell that air is a solution? Well, if you look a sample of the air at one page, it's right here, and then compare it with a sample take close by over here. Your two samples would have a uniform composition. They contain the same proportion of gases evenly distributed throughout each other, and as the gases in air don't separate out over time. So we need oxygen to break, but you never have to worry that one day all the oxygen is going to separate out and float up in the sky. So, so for air, the composition is even and the gases doesn't separate out over time. We're definitely talk about a solution here, and now finally, that are all solutions that are made for mixing solids together. An alloy is a homogeneous mixture or solution of metals. Now, how do you dissolve and mix solid together? It's actually pretty cool. You make an alloy by taking two different metals or sometimes more, and then melting them and mixing them other while they're still molten. After they cool and solidify, the two metals are evenly spread throughout each other. To your naked eye, it looks like one single metal, nice and uniform, which is the hallmark of a solution. People make alloy because they have better properties than individual metal alone. One of the first alloy that people learned to make was bronze, which is a mixture of copper and tin, and steel is an alloy of a metal and a non-metal. Iron and carbon in a steel also contain some other metals besides iron. The important thing to remember here is the alloy are solution are a homogeneous mixture. The parts are evenly distributed and the alloy look uniform to the naked eye. So let's review what we've talked about here. A solution is a heterogeneous mixture made by dissolving a solute in a salt. Because a solution is a homogeneous mixture, these substances are evenly distributed and so the solution have a uniform appearance. A liquid solution is in the liquid form and it's made by dissolving a solid gas or liquid in a liquid solvent. Most liquid solutions that we talk about in chemistry are aqueous solutions, which mean that water is a solvent. But keep in mind the solution can also be mixture of gases or they can be mixture of solid like metal alloy. So that is an introduction to solution. Thanks very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.